Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to another day in the life as a homemaker where I do things to make my heart and home happy and set me up for the week. And today, I had no idea when I started. Today was going to be as full on as it was. So I'm glad I've recorded most of it so I can share it with you, because if you've had a day, I hope that this makes you happy. And that's also why this is late today coming out. Apologies, but I thought I'd share because, yep, it is what it is. So I needed to do some baking today because I've got some content that I needed to go up for a couple of companies. I'm using the IGA range. There will be a full video coming to you with how I made things. This is a little bit of a behind the scenes that you're not going to see in that video, trust me. So first up is some sugar cookies, and we've got a mixture here that's a little bit crumbly, and that was fine. We scooped it out with a cookie scoop because they said to do that for measuring. And then I just rolled the mixture together just to help it a little bit more, and it came together really nicely and it baked totally fine. But then I kind of realized that I'm not sure if I've written something down wrong or I have done something wrong, but I've second guessed myself. So on the paper I have here that I wrote self-raising flour, but I used plain flour. But then I see on the website it said plain flour. So I don't know what I did or what happened. So I decided that everyone could just eat the cookies and I wasn't going to feature that cookie in the end video. And I'll move on to some other things. On to the next thing that made me laugh. You can see that I'm pouring up pretty high condensed milk. So I'm going to do the 100 cookie recipes, but I only did 50 cookies. I halved the recipe because I forgot to buy condensed milk when I was actually at the shop. And also I realized partway through here that this recipe needs plain flour and not self-raising flour, as I've got sat in the background. I did put the plain flour in there. I made the recipe complete, but the fact is that I filmed this entire making process with the ingredients sitting in the back that says self-raising flour, which is incorrect. So I was going to put chocolate chips in there and decided not to waste them, and instead I'm going to put in there some sprinkles, and then I just dumped all of the mixture into a piece of baking paper and I've rolled it up and I've thrown it into the fridge, and I will cook the cookies eventually. At least I've got backup batter now. If I ever run low for something else, I can always throw the mixture in the freezer if I want. But yeah, so basically I've made a lot of cookies today. The next fun thing is that I'm trying to get all the batter off of the scraper and the head pulls off of my spatula. And I'm actually really glad I caught it on camera. It was just one of those you had to be there moments. So I managed to get the other scraper. I love this scraper. I don't know where it came from, probably a $2 shop. It's plastic and it has a really thin side. It's so good for scraping down everything. So I pulled off nearly as much mixture as I could, and I gave up halfway and then decided to give the beater to hubby to clean. And then I'm just going to deal with the rest of the mixture myself. It's time to hang out the washing, and I am very glad that I'm actually doing this right now because I just need a break from the kitchen. I'm sort of against the deadline and I just want to get things done, and I was also meant to go to mum's today. It's been a whole thing. So yes, I'm still wearing my pajama pants and I'm just trying to figure out what to do right now with the towels. Oh my gosh, the lawn has started overgrowing again, even though we mowed a bit of it last week. This section didn't get mowed because there's just stuff everywhere on the ground, as you can see, which I just haven't had any time to clean up either. And yes, I figured I should at least put a normal top on, because if I'm trying to bake, I don't want my pajamas on, and if the reflection from the KitchenAid picks up something, ends up in a video, well, I do not need to be on the 6 o'clock news. So yes, I thought I'd at least be professional on the top, business on the bottom. I thought I heard the neighbour outside, so I thought I'll just stick my head around for a little sneaky peek, but nothing too exciting was happening. I think I stand here and stare at the backyard for a minute. I don't know why. Oh, this mat we've had outside for about a week. I thought about bashing it out like they used to do in the olden days, but I'll stick that on the to-do list for some other time down the track. Happy Sunday, everyone. Oh my gosh, today was meant to be a calm, peaceful, happy day. I was just finalizing a few baking things for some products or a review thing, and I could put together a TikTok, and I've spent all week thinking about this, and the week that I haven't had. Happy Sunday, everyone. It is currently, what is it currently? Oh my gosh, it is currently 12:30. I'm off to the shops because I have run out of some ingredients to do some cooking, and I've also used the wrong ingredients. Currently doing a TikTok promotion thing for IGA Black and Gold products. I love home brand things anyway, so I was so excited when I got selected. And of course, me in my head, I looked at the picture that they sent, because they had a range of stuff. They had oats, they had French fries, they had cheese, they had whatever. And they gave me a $15 gift card and said, please go and buy at least 4 products and review 3 products. And I said, okay. Well, I kind of read it wrong and went, oh, you've got to make 3 things, like show on a video. So I've spent like the last week stressing and thinking about what to make. I'm just sharing because this is what it's like inside my head as a content creator. And then I realized yesterday, you haven't done it, so we need to do it. And then I reread the thing, and they just want 1 video. But you need to type 3 reviews. So I sat there Googling, and when I shopped, I got oats, self-raising flour, because I figured it was more universal, butter, cream, sugar, and I got chocolate chip cookies. And so it came to just over $18. I was happy to pay a little bit extra because I bake all the time anyway. You know, I bake all the time. So I was like, woohoo! And then, yeah. When I realized it was just 1 video, I was like, well, you know what? I'm still gonna make a couple of different things to show how versatile, like, you know, flour can be 2 or 3 things. And I Googled and I checked some things, and I'm really happy with what I have, and don't worry, it's coming out in a separate video for you. However, I've made the first 2 things and realized that they both need plain flour. I have bought self-raising flour. I still filmed part of it to show you that I've stuffed up, because I am a real and honest person. I am never going to sit there and go, add in self-raising flour, like, you know. And so I need the product placement in the background, so I'm going to recook those things, because also I want it for the video. And yeah, look, probably no one cares, but I don't want to be one of those influencers who's like, influencer lies on camera. No, I did not tell you something and it wasn't true. Then I had to ring Mum and say, sorry, again, I'm not coming down today, because I left those pasties still in her car. No, car. Imagine that. I left the pasties in her fridge. They were frozen. They're meatless, so they're okay. And so they would have been fine. And she said, do you want me to stick them back in the freezer? And I said no, because I don't want to like refreeze them, defrost, freeze. So I'll pick them up and I'll cook all 4 of them, because that's all I got. And then I will oh, my brain's not working. Then I'll freeze the couple of cooked ones, or someone can just reheat them for their lunch. But then when I go down there next time, I'll buy a stack more frozen and I'll bring them straight home. So I was meant to go yesterday, but then I had the bread run, and it was like about 1 o'clock, and I realized I started having to do these cooking things, cleaning the kitchen, getting things sorted, and I was like, I'm not going to make it down there and back in time. And then I said, I'll come tomorrow. She said, yeah, no worries. And then I was like, I'm not going to make it, because also I've got a food shop that I want to do, just prep for the next flyby spend. So this is real life, day in the life of a homemaker. Done the washing and the first bits of cooking and stuff. Everyone's happy. They've got to lick out bowls and whatever else. So go to the shop now, pick up a couple of the other things, and then head home and then do the rest of the stuff. Also, sorry, someone said to me the other day about, because I was talking about I've injured my hand, and they were like, oh, we all do it. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm a content creator. I need my hands. It's like when I went into hospital a couple of years ago and I said, mate, I'll give you all the money in the world if you will stick the IV in my arm rather than the back of my hand. I know it's easier for you, but I'm a content creator, and literally in 2 days time I need to film a cooking video with my hands. I do not need a bruise here. Like, I've got a bruise here, but within reason, maybe, hopefully you're not going to see that in the, oh, okay, we're going to have to review some footage and probably reshoot something. Oh my gosh, I'll just show my these are all the things that I care about. I know the average Joe Blow probably doesn't, but it's probably not a very good look. Oh well. So I went and collected my goodies, and I'm super happy and positive and ready to start. And we're going to make some cupcakes. So into the pan I put the butter and the sugar, and then I put both the eggs. And then I go to put in the vanilla, and I realized that I didn't cream the butter and the sugar. And I figure maybe I can do it now and see how we go. And I'm like, well, it's too late to save anything. So let's just stick in the vanilla and the milk, and we'll give it a really good mix up. And then we're going to put the flour in there. And then we're going to have a look at this congealed mess, and we're not going to show that on camera for the real footage, and we're just going to move that to the side and deal with it later. So it's time to start again, and this time we are quite successful. We put the butter in, the sugar, give it a good mix, then everything else, and look at that, we've got a beautiful consistency batter. Put that into the cupcakes and then put that in the oven. And it was going really well until at one point they were still a little bit wet, but then 2 minutes later they were overcooked. It's okay, we're going to decorate the cupcakes anyway, but oh my gosh, I was ready to give up at this point in time. Here is the congealed mess. I did decide to attempt to bake them to see how we go, and funny, they actually seem to cook better and look better than the originals. Anyway, I crossed my fingers when I put all that there, just showing you. And then we were onto the biscuits, and we've got the flour here that I've managed to dump half all over the bench. So that's exciting, but at least everything else went to plan. Here's me trying to surgically and strategically open the back of chocolate chip packet. So then at least when I'm doing a forward facing with it, all the product sitting there, the product still looks newish. So cut it open from the back is a trick that I've got. However, yours truly ripped part of the corner as she was trying to move the packet, so it looks obvious that it's been opened anyway, which is fine. I'm not looking for products looking perfection, but I just wanted them to be looking at least semi-presentable. They say that baking is an exact art of science, and I guesstimate a lot when I especially am doing icing. I've just got a couple of piles of icing sugar in here with a little bit of milk, and using my dental nurse mixing techniques, I am mixing that up together. I was really happy with that actually. And then I just very sloppily iced the cupcakes and then dumped them into the sprinkles, which I'm glad that I found in the cupboard because I know they've been sitting there for a while and I really wanted to use them up. So at least that also covers part of the use it up challenge. So I'm super happy with that. It's nearly 3:30 and I have the money shot finally did all set up ready to go, and I have to then film all my intros, and I film about 4. This is not the one in the main video because I realized that my tag is sticking out. And then I have to set up a shot of scooping the ice cream, and that takes a little while to try and set it all up because I was trying to be as semi-professional as I can. I am surprised at how well this scooped as well, but as I said, I'll talk about it in my video as well. And then in the afternoon, I had to go and do a Coles flyby spend, and when I tell you I literally got out of there with 5 minutes to spare before the shop closed, yep, by the skin of my teeth. Talk about cutting it fine. So thank you for joining with me on today. What an adventure. I hope that it has cheered you up. Thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.